Hello everybody and welcome to For the Record with DJ Fuzzbro, Tis I. I'm here today with the gracious DJ Phengren Oswald, and he's going to talk about some of the LPs in his vast collection. So, how you doing today?
I'm doing great.
Great.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, okay. DJ Phengren is one of the three wizards of Saturday Night Soul Party.
Yes.
Which was last night, and again, it was a real, I don't know, barn buster.
A barn burner.
A barn burner.
Yeah.
And you know, it's always a great time. That again, what's the schedule for that one?
The first and third Saturday of every month.
At the Elbo Room.
Elbo Room, yeah.
Awesome. So, Phengren Oswald.
Yes.
This name is odd, and I was wondering if you had anything, the origins of your DJ name.
It was bestowed upon me.
Oh, really?
By a friend.
Okay. And you took this name and you have made it great. So, all right.
Well, it was used for a performance I did with her, and someone was there to take photographs for like The Guardian, and she just wrote that was my name.
Oh, cool.
And then I found out about it later, and I thought it's a pretty good fake name.
Yeah, it really is.
It's always a good idea to have a couple fake names handy, so.
And it's great when a name you're given and then you've become a person who fits that name. You feel like the name is yours. It's always been yours. So.
Yeah, kind of do.
Yeah. Such as Fuzz Probe.
Yes, I mean, I know you've been Fuzz Probe since back in the day, right?
Yeah, back in the
90s.
.com era. So.
Late 90s.
Yeah.
Early 90s.
Yeah. And just so if you're curious, the Fuzz Probe is a guitar pedal that was put out 10 years ago, and it's basically a fuzz box taped to a theremin, and it makes an ungodly racket, and it's extremely expensive.
It's taped?
Well, not taped, but they're put together. Z-Vex.
Oh, okay.
Z-Vex, and you can see the videos of it on YouTube.
I've seen some of that Z-Vex.
Maybe I'll put a link to it. So yeah, cool. Well, so what records do we have today?
Oh, okay. Well, I picked out a few of my kind of long-running favorite records from various genres in my collection. No soul, but let's see. Okay. So to start, I picked Eric Dolphy's "Out to Lunch." It's on Blue Note Records. It's the last official studio LP he put out before he died in 1964.
Wow.
June 29th, 1964, actually.
Huh.
This was issued in 64. Killer band. Freddie Hubbard, Bobby Hutcherson, Richard Davies, and Tony Williams, so I think he's about 17 when he played on this record.
Mm-hmm.
I think I first heard this, a friend of mine turned me on to this record in like 15 or 16 years ago or so, when I just started getting into jazz music, and I thought this was a pretty badass record from the moment I heard it, and I still do. It's pretty different than a lot of the other like free jazz avant-garde records of the time, where it's not a non-stop barrage of bleeding and honking and going as nutty as possible. There's a lot of composition on it with a lot of freedom in between, but no one steps on each other's toes in the band. It's very kind of spatial, minimal in parts, and it's kind of got like almost like a dark and moody sound, and it's just a badass record.
What's a good cut from it?
Oh, well, the whole thing.
Okay.
Gazzaleone is a really good jam. It's one that features Dolphy on flute, and it's actually named after an avant-garde flutist who I think Dolphy was studying under a little bit. But it's a really interesting record, and I think if anyone is getting into avant-garde jazz or just even like 20th century classical or just kind of out there stuff, this is an excellent place to start. One of my favorite jazz LPs ever.
Check it out.
Wonderful, wonderful statement. Next, Parachute by the Pretty Things.
Okay.
Do you know this record?
No, I've heard of the Pretty Things.
Oh, this record's great.
Wow.
So the Pretty Things were like around the same time as, you know, started off early 60s, same time as the Stones and Them and the Animals and all the other kind of like R&B influenced British combos. They were kind of more like a wild version of the Rolling Stones. There's some video footage of their early shows, and they're just nuts.
Well, like Baby I'm Your Man is a classic.
Exactly. You know, Midnight to 6. But the live footage of them is they're just going bonkers, and people are going crazy. In '68, they put out SF Sorrow, which a lot of people think is like their penultimate kind of almost rock opera. I guess the acid kicked in, and they did a very Sgt. Pepper-esque kind of record, but a lot harder. This would be the 1970 follow-up to that, and I could compare it to another Beatles comparison would be to Abbey Road.
Okay.
But again, it's kind of a darker, moodier record. It's a lot heavier.
This came out in the 1970s?
70, yeah. I think it was released in 70. It's kind of slinky sounding, but it's got a lot of like vocal harmonies, and it's one of those records that all the songs on it are good, but it's kind of best if you start at the very beginning and listen to the whole thing, and then you know.
Yeah, that's something I think we might be kind of losing in the MP3 iPod age, where you just shuffle everything and you don't just kind of sit down and like listen to an album.
I think, yeah, that's true. And this is definitely one of those records that like the whole thing should be listened to from start to finish. It's pretty great.
Yeah.
I like it a lot.
Cool.
So that's that. Pretty Things, Parachute. Outstanding end of the 60s. Okay, next. Oh, this one's cool. This is the a kind of spoken word record. The Legacy of Ho Chi Minh.
Wow.
Joe, say it with me. Nothing is more precious than independence and freedom.
I see.
It's on the Paradon label, which is a label from Berkeley that kind of copied Folkways and the design of the jackets. And
Also
beautiful packaging. Came with a little book, and it's actual speeches by Ho Chi Minh, read by someone else, and Ho Chi Minh's voice does appear on here as well, and then propaganda songs and stuff like that. It's a pretty interesting record. It's not something I listen to very often, but it's pretty cool to have.
Oh, cool.
I don't know where I got this, but it's a pretty interesting record, so Ho Chi Minh.
Well, before we go on, I think we're getting a signal that we're running a little low on time with the camera.
Okay.
So I'm going to say that we should do a part 2.
Okay.
But for now, we're going to wrap it up with this part 1.
Okay.
And say once again to join Phengren Oswald at Soul Party at the Elbo Room first and third Saturday of every month. So once again, thanks for joining us for the record, and we'll see you soon. Thank you.
Don't cry on my shoulder, rely on somebody older. I don't know what to tell you when you ask about love. I think I know what's wrong with you. Been going steady too long with you. I don't know what to